Come join Libby, Molly, and Tiffany, the ladies of Consignment Chats, where we talk about all things consignment.
Hey, ladies.
Hi.
Oh, hey, Molly.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous.
Look, Libby and I are together in the same room.
I know.
We're not masked up. We're both vaccinated. We're ready to roll.
Yep.
Welcome
Episode 36.
to episode 36.
I stole your line. I'm sorry.
That's
I stole
okay.
your line.
You get her into the hot seat and suddenly she feels very moderatory. You know, it gives her this power.
Yeah.
I got that.
Yeah.
So Libby's here with me in Greensboro because she is moving Emma into college. I think we've mentioned before on previous episodes, don't ask me the numbers, that her daughter Emma goes to the same college as my son, Cal, which is UNC Charlotte, which is about an hour and 15 minutes from here. So the wonderful thing is that when Emma moves in and out, I get visits from Libby, and I always make them extended visits.
Yeah.
You know, she can never just come, move her in and go. No, we got to make it like 4 or 5 days. So,
And she puts me to work.
I do. We have fun. So anyway, so this is the first time that we've filmed, I think, where at least two of us are in the same location. So interesting, fun. I think it's going to work. I can't wait till we can all three get together and do like comfy chairs and coffee talk. That'll be a lot of fun.
That'll be
in October.
Yes, I think that'll be so much fun. I'll bring my little tripod thing for the phone and we can do it that way. And I think it's going to be a ton of fun. I'm excited. So it's better. I think it works both ways, but I like in person. So today we're going to talk about live sales, which has become all the rage over the past, year and a half? Gosh, how long have we been into the P word?
A while.
Yeah. So live sales on social media have become very important because of the way our lives have changed over the last year and a half. So being stuck inside and shopping online became a pastime for many. So the most common place I'm a shopper. What can I say? For those of you who are on podcast, she was just pointing to me because I'm a shopper. I am. That's why I'm going to be really good at this particular episode because I've shopped many people's live sales. So
me too. See?
Yeah.
Yes. So the most common place for the live sales is Facebook, with Instagram being a close second to that. And then some, and I think Tiffany, didn't you try it? Somebody we know tried it, did actually both simultaneously.
I did.
Tiffany. Tiffany of Russell Christian tried it.
Oh, that's
and our
right.
very own Tiffany.
And our very own Tiffany.
I'm going to talk about that. Yeah.
I keep bumping the table. So for those that are watching, I apologize if you get seasick, but two of us at one desk, you know. But anyway, so some people are brave enough to try that simultaneously. So we're going to break it down today. We're going to talk about the different ways that we have done it personally in our businesses, that we have seen others do it, and we're going to go with it and chat all about the fun live sales. So I think we should start with Instagram. What do you think?
Yeah, let's get that out of the way.
All right. All right. What do we know about Instagram, ladies?
So as far as I've seen, Instagram is definitely a much more manual process. There aren't as many at this point software systems that can hook in and automate your invoicing. So it is a more manual process. We do it's a lot of Google Sheets, things like that. And Tiffany's going to talk a little bit about that. Now, the ones that I have watched, and I have to mention Leslie of A Reseller's Passion, because she uses that for a large portion of her business, and she is very successful with it. Not only is she successful with it, but if you go check out her information, she does provide guidance on how to start Instagram live sales, how to build an audience. I think she does a very good job of explaining that. So definitely check her out. And then Tiffany, there was one that you've watched a couple of times.
Reporium. Yeah. Well, they, I know that they were a brick and mortar store, but I know that during the pandemic, when they had to do all the shutdown, that doing the live sales on Instagram is what kept them going. And so they, I've watched that several times. They just go through the store and you show things, and then you just message them with what you want.
It's good. They do a really neat job of it, and they have a very high volume on their sales. I believe at one point she said, the owner had said it takes at least 3 people to run the Instagram live sale, at least 3 people. So labor intensive, because you have to either, so on Instagram at this point, you have to either be able to monitor all those live comments, or you need to record. And you can't do it through Instagram. You have to have separate software or hook it up to your computer to record the live to get the comments. So it's not that straightforward. So you have to take that into consideration with Instagram, is if you're taking live comments, you need to be able to see those after the fact, because they're not easily accessible. They're not saved in the recording. So definitely take that into consideration. The other thing people have been doing on Instagram is story sales.
Yeah, the story sales, I love them. I think they're pretty neat, and they seem very simple. And I think you could do the other simply that way too. But I watched one recently, and they just literally pop up a dress, and it'll be just the quick words across it, the brand with a price, and DM us. And that's all they do. And you really could do that with the Instagram live too. And a lot that I watch on the Instagram live, they don't get into all the sheets. They just, first one to DM me that wants it, it's yours. And they just go through their messages and invoice them, and keep it very simple that way. And so that's all it is, just message. I want the size 9 Nike sneakers. And if you're the first one to say that in the messages, then they'll send you a quick little invoice and you go.
And I think one of the keys, and I'm going to throw this in there for all live sales, is when you're building your audience, you definitely need to create that sense of urgency, because there is one of everything, and it definitely does help with sales if somebody thinks they're not going to get that, or it's not very abundant. And not that they think that, I mean, that's the truth, but you definitely want to promote that sense of urgency.
I mean, I've been on that end on many, because as we know, yes, I am a shopper. When I've been on the live sales and you're trying to type so fast. I mean, Tiffany does this in our sales too, right? We're all trying to I even do it in our own sales where I'm trying to type because I want something. Libby shows something that I haven't seen yet. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need those. And I'm yelling down to my husband, quick.
Well, that's why we call Paula Quick Fingers now. Yeah. Paula, one of our fans, one of our listeners. We call her Quick Fingers because she snagged up a bag a couple of weeks ago before anybody even had a chance.
Can take a breath. She's got it. But you do. And so you get that urgency. And I was so disappointed a while back. I can't remember the cute ladies in Alabama. They use the same software we use. They're so sweet and they're so much fun. And I hate that I can't remember their consignment name.
Was that Simply Curvy? Might be Simply Curvy.
Might be.
Yeah.
So cute. No, because I don't think so. Anyway, but I was so excited when they showed this thing in my size, and I go and I put it in, and daggum if somebody didn't snag it first. And I was so heartbroken, but because I was there, that person changed their mind. And lo and behold, I woke up the next morning with a little email or message saying, Molly, this is yours. You're in line next. Let us know in the next 24 hours if you want it. And boom, I got it. So you do get that. I was so disappointed. I had that sense of urgency, and I tried to type, but clearly somebody like Paula beat me to it. But it worked out for me in the end that I got it, because they are, like you say, with resale and consignment, it's typically, there's just one of whatever it is that's being shown. There's rarely backup.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the story sales that I did because I did that for a while. Gosh, and this must have been like 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, it was about a year and a half ago. Yeah, it was about a year and a half ago. Actually.
I mean, it was a while ago, and I did a product of the day every day on the story, and I usually recorded the video in advance and then put it up on the story. And a lot of the ones I did were things that I had bought at auction that I had multiples of. And that's what I did. I just put it up there with all the information and just said, DM me if you're interested. And then they would DM me, and I would send them a PayPal invoice. Very simple. And that worked. I mean, it worked. I mean, I didn't have a sale every day, but
Right.
it worked. I mean, I also don't have a huge following on Instagram either. I didn't then either. But it's just something to try. And actually, I forgot about that for a while, but I think maybe I might go back to doing
Yeah,
that.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say, why did you stop? I mean, that's not only that's great for sales, but it's also, I would imagine, great to advertise the type of product you have.
Yeah.
Like whether or not you make a sale, you're getting that product out there.
I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking on our end, like last night we did the resale therapy, the Insta resale therapy, that maybe after that, we should take quick pictures of those items and throw them in the story with pricing.
Heck yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm putting more work on my plate. What am I thinking?
Yeah, you go ahead and do that, Molly. That sounds awesome for you to do.
Tiffany, reach over here and whack me. Whack me, Tiffany. Smack me, would you?
Just make more work and turn that into a reel.
Crazy.
Gosh.
Anything else you guys want to talk about with Instagram that you think is important?
I think that's a good summary.
Good summary of
honestly.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Feel free to go ahead.
I do think you need some help. It helps to have help.
It helps to have
if
help.
you're doing Instagram, because I did the one time where I did Facebook and Instagram at the same time. And my friend Lori was watching and she was writing all the notes, like, about what people wanted and what people asked for. And then she would tell me or remind me, or she was actually sitting here in the room watching it. So she would also, like, if I missed a comment and somebody wanted me to show something again, she would tell me, about that.
Yeah.
It was helpful.
Like it. Well, I think we should move over to Facebook now. Woo. The most popular of live sales.
Yes.
And talk a little bit about, we've both had experience in that, seen a lot of people who do it, shopped a lot of it. So let's talk about Facebook live sales.
Yeah. I personally think that Facebook for us was a little easier to manage. And we're going to get into how we run it at the end of the episode. We're going to do that last, but this part is just to give you a little overview. It's definitely, I thought it was a little easier. You can see the comments after the fact if you miss one on Facebook. So that was a big thing for me. And, Molly and I both have run them solo. So we know solo and we know how to do it jointly. I can be run with one person. I feel like it wasn't too overwhelming to do with one person.
More fun with two.
Oh yeah, way more
certainly
fun
can
with
be
two.
done with one.
Yeah, certainly. And Tiffany has actually joined me on one of our live sales as well. And so there's different pieces of software that can hook in. So Tiffany, I'm going to have you say how you did yours, and then we'll talk about how maybe you can integrate software to make your job a little easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just started very cheap and simple. Like, I didn't want to spend any money doing it. So my friend Lori created a Google Doc, Google Sheets, form, and we had the link for it. And I put that at the top of in the caption, of the live. And I just instructed people that if they wanted to buy anything, that they should just click on the link, put in their information. And then after the event, like I said, I would just, email them a PayPal invoice.
Yeah.
And that was just, very simple. I mean, it works and it's free. And, when you're getting started, I think that's, it's good to try something like that before you go spending the money. But I did about 3 or 4 live sales, and I did them sporadically. So I didn't really have like a lot of people watching, because I think you really need to build up that repetition to really get the following like you guys have. And I just didn't do that. And also I was by myself. Lori was in the room with me, but she wasn't on camera with me.
Right.
And it was just, it's harder. Like, I'm not very much of an extrovert. And it was just really hard to make it fun and interesting when you're just by yourself. I think it's easier if you can play off somebody else, if you can have a conversation. So I also found out that I was doing them too long. Like, mine went like good an hour.
So what do you think is a good time? What would you say is a good time for a live sale?
I mean, I think the 30 minutes is good.
30 minutes. Yeah.
I just feel like mine was like too long of a commitment for people. but anyway, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from trying that. I've learned a lot from watching you guys, and I think I'm going to try it again, but I've got some ideas about how to do some short, quick, fun ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, maybe, I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe only like 5 items, just like really quick, like.
So here's a question. If you, would you be able, using the process you currently have with the Google Sheet and everything, would you be able to manage that by yourself? Or would
Sure.
you think another person would, like Laurie, would be there writing stuff down? Like for somebody that just wants to try this, would it be overwhelming?
Oh, no,
for
yeah,
them?
you can do it by yourself.
You
That's
can do
totally
it by
that's-
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just getting started, and I wasn't sure if it was overwhelming or not. So I just had, she was just there, but yeah, you can certainly do that by yourself.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
feel, I was wondering, because I feel like if I had to do the invoicing and the Google Sheets, I would be, I think it would be difficult to do by myself. I've done it that way. Actually, our first couple sales were like that, and I did one solo, and I it was too hard for me. I couldn't quite get all the pieces together, I felt like. But on Facebook, everything is recorded. You can go back and look at the comments, and you can kind of do a little cleanup. So that's the worst thing that happens, right?
Of course, it all depends on how many people are watching and how many people are buying.
Right.
But
How
I
overwhelming it
never
can be.
had an overwhelming amount of,
Right.
purchase.
Well,
I mean,
things to think about.
yeah,
Things to think about if you're going to do
definitely.
this. Yeah.
I've been on some where there are so many people, every item's going and there's
Mhm.
multiple people bidding on that, trying to catch
Right.
that item. And that's where you definitely want that. Again, like you said, the beauty of Facebook, that it records it so that they can go back and view to
Yeah.
kind of keep up with who said what first, who claimed it first, but also the beauty of the idea of a software program versus, when you get to that stage,
Mhm.
you can probably then validate paying for one, right?
Right.
But it's also going to be probably necessary to pay for one.
right.
So how we do, I'll talk a little bit about, so there's 2 main software programs that hook into Facebook for Facebook Lives. We use Reply Sold, which is by Loyal Shops, but there's also a Comment Sold software. I have never used Comment Sold, and their information is not really readily accessible. So I'm just going to mention that it's out there. I know that people use it and use it successfully, but I really can't speak on it. Yeah. So our Loyal Shops, it integrates with Shopify. So you have to enter all your stuff in Shopify, which we use List Perfectly for. Another plug
Yes,
for
we
List
do.
Perfectly. Another reason we love it.
Mhm. Very
And
easy.
people just reply sold with the item number right in the Facebook thing. They take care of the invoicing. It's all automatic. So if you can use Shopify, it's just a very easy integration with Loyal Shops. Yes, you have to pay for it. Yes, it's an added expense. You have to decide if that's worth it for you. There's different tiers. I think the tier we're on suits us fine. It is $50 a month. I don't believe they have a free trial at this point. So
It's super easy for the buyer. I know that.
Right.
the buyers really like it. The
Mhm.
buyers really like it.
Yeah.
And you don't spend time invoicing after the fact. I found that a little intense, and we didn't even have that many sales, and I did find it like very labor
Yeah.
intensive. Yeah.
And I have to say, I want to plug into the couple of times during setup when we were first getting to know the Loyal Shops Reply Sold, the customer service was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was.
Talking to the gentleman who actually created it. And he is, at least I haven't talked to him in a while because everything's been working well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have, but
No, I haven't
because
had
I
to.
haven't totally been there the last couple months. But to me, customer service for software like that is a make or break, and the customer service there was great. And he was asking questions to learn more about what we were doing and things we were asking about that he had never thought of, and said, well, I'm going to look into integrating that in. So that's always a wonderful thing too, when you're dealing with a software program.
Yeah,
today's
really
day.
That's
was.
great. That's great.
Yeah.
Because it seems like in the beginning, you guys were having some issues, like just getting it to, figuring it out.
Was, but that was
Figuring it out.
us because we were in 2 separate locations. So that was something they had never done, played with, experimented with, because you think about it, when people do live sales, they're generally in their store, they're together, it's just them. So we were the first ones that were really kind of playing around with that. So that was actually, the issue was us, not the software.
But that's what I say. He was phenomenal about, I've never done this before. Let's see how we can make this work. Let's, and so it was a great learning thing for all of us to go through.
That makes perfect sense then. Yeah, that's
fun.
And I do want to mention, in the beginning, there's a program that you learned about through one of the other live sales you attended. It's called Postable, and we'll link that up as well. But you can use that. So if you don't have software, you could use Postable to capture customer information, mailing address, and create this database. It is totally free. And it worked well for us before we implemented the software. So Postable is
a good one. And I used it as a customer. Like you say, that's where I first learned it. That was when I went. I've gone to several online consignment sales. But one that was my absolute favorite. In fact, I called Libby. I'm like, you have to go on there and you have to watch these women. They are so much fun. I've purchased a couple things. I think you purchased something from them too in the end.
I think I did. Yeah.
Eloquy or something. But they are simple. Is it Simply Curvy Consignment? And they're actually close to me. We could go see them when we go to Charlotte because they're in Rock Hill.
Oh, it's right there?
They're in Rock Hill, South Carolina. These women are so much fun. They were what inspired me to go, okay, we could do this. Like, this is just, they're a ton of fun. They're giggling, they're laughing, they're putting together outfits. Now they do it in their store front, but that's the other thing I love about doing them and watching other people do them, because it's like, we have people that come to us, you feel like you're a part of them.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun to get in that store with them, even though you're not physically there, but you're a part of it. And everybody's commenting and you're like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Put that hat with those shoes. That's so cute. There goes that, again.
Paula was saying we should put a quarter in a jar every time one of us says you know.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Then we have Nashville money.
Oh yes, Nashville money.
Very cool.
There you go.
But anyway, they used the Postable, the Simply Curvy Consignment used Postable, but I highly recommend, if you're thinking about doing it, go on several. That's what I did when Libby and I first started. And I would watch several different people do their live sales. And unfortunately for my husband, buy several things, but I looked at it as education. I wanted to see the checkout process, how it worked, how everything happened from each one, right?
Yeah.
That's
and
what
there
I'm
were
going
so
with.
many different vibes, so many different ways to do it. It was just, just really neat.
And I just am thinking about this now. Another really cool thing, when we were talking about the time, it came to my memory when you were saying, how long should they last? And we were saying 30 minutes. Well, I agree with that too, but there was, and I don't know if they're still in existence. I'd have to look it up. In fact, I will, and we can link them on here if they are.
Okay.
There's a group in Atlanta, and I want to call like Atlanta Reseller. I can't remember the name of it, but I will find it. But what they do is every hour, somebody comes on and does a live sale. So, and they're all in different areas, but it's all in the same group. And somebody put together, which I thought was brilliant, like there's a word I'm looking for, like a co-selling atmosphere online, where you could come in and pay a fee to reserve your hour and use their sale space. And you'd go, okay, I know I'm going on at 8:00 on Thursday night. Boom, boom, boom. And it ran every night, and every hour there was a different seller that would come on for that hour.
Oh, wow.
Some of them are in the home in their basement. Some of them are in their store, but some of them you've got a mother and daughter doing it. But I would watch many of those throughout time, and all the different things.
Home shopping network for resellers.
Yes, for resellers. And you would just go in, and it was all Atlanta-based businesses, resellers that did it, and they would reserve their time slot, and it would go every night from, I want to say they started in late afternoon into late at night, and people would just pay whatever the fee was, $10, whatever, to reserve their hour. and that was their hour to sell. And the beautiful thing about it was they were promoting each other through the thing.
Wow.
So I thought that was a brilliant, but they did an hour. And of course, the personalities are different. Some hours I was like, oh my gosh, that's not enough time. I want more. And then some I was like, okay, we need to, we need to be done. It's time. But it just depended on who, what they were selling, whether or not you're interested. Some people would be very specific. Everything I do is vintage, or everything I do is, size small and medium or whatever. And you could click off if that wasn't something you're interested in. But they would promote each other. And one would be on there saying, this is my business. Stay tuned. After me is Libby at Kanji Consignment coming on as soon as I'm done. So stick around and see what she's got. What a great, right?
Yeah, very.
We'll
very
have to link that. I need to
interesting.
see if they're still doing that.
Yeah, I'm interested to go back and look at that and see how they made out, if they're still doing it. One of the things that we'll talk a little bit about how we do our live sales and what our philosophy is at Kanji Consignment. We kind of talked about what Tiffany does with Tiffany's Treasures and Trinkets and where she's had it. Our philosophy at Kanji Consignment, we started a little bit differently because we could see that the live sales were sustaining a lot of businesses during this past year and a half, and storefronts were depending on that. And as things open back up, it was my feeling that things with live sales were going to decrease in the volume, and they weren't going to be as popular. Now, maybe when winter comes and weather is bad, it's going to be popular again. Right. Since we do a lot of online sales, it wasn't really our goal at Kanji Consignment to produce a large sales volume with the sales, but one of our initiatives this year was to create community and get in touch with our customers. And I'm going to give our other live episode a plug with eBay Open Online, because they just confirmed everything that we were working toward with all of their market research, saying that people really want to know who they're buying from. They really want to feel that sense of community. They really want to connect. And since we're an online business, and Tiffany is as well, it's very important to have a vehicle to connect with your buyers and introduce yourself and be authentic, be real. Right. And so we've invested a lot in building our community. So our live sales are definitely coming from that perspective, and not really a perspective of trying to produce a large sales volume. Yes, we get sales. Yes, it's awesome. Yes, it's fun, but that was not our initial drive in
our
doing
fun
this.
Comes in the comments and the chat box, and who's saying what, and the friends that are becoming friends that live in different states that have never met face to face, have never even seen each other, but they have inside jokes going or fun things that they do back and forth. And we look forward to that.
Yeah, and to bring some of our customers from the storefront maybe back into the fold that we really miss, or we're not physically near anymore as well. And so that's where we started our live sale perspective. And so what we developed was a program, we call it Resale Therapy. So we have a little fun with that. We have a lot of fun with that. And so we do once a week. We thought that was great consistency. As Tiffany mentioned earlier, it's important to be consistent to build that audience. So we do Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook. And I think we're going to try to put a little clip in the video here of one of our sales. We'll see.
So if you're on podcast, go to YouTube if you want to see how the sale runs. Here's a brief clip of one of the live sales from Kanji Consignment. All right. This is a women's size 20 Ruby Road. It is a very satiny blouse. It's purple. It's like an abstract button down.
Oh man, if I worked in the office, I would be totally sporting that.
Isn't that pretty? Look at those colors.
Wait.
And it has what? It has what? That would be roll tab sleeves, my friends. So take a drink if you're here, because I said it. Roll tab sleeves. Isn't that pretty? So that's a size 20 women's Ruby Road. $19 free shipping. Sold $96.
Good deal. Good deal. Did Nick take a drink over there?
Oh yes, he did.
Oh, okay.
He was ready for it.
I needed to verify since he wasn't on screen. All right. Let's see. Let me get this the right way. Next up, we have this beautiful sterling. I'm on a sterling kick here. We got a lot of sterling in this week,
It's
folks.
my favorite.
I'm only showing you a little subset of it. There's way more on our website, but look at this necklace. It is a snowflake for those of you that love snow or just love a snowflake. And it is 18 inches. It is sterling silver, and it has that beautiful pendant. This is number 71. It's so sparkly. I don't know if I'm going to get the light to reflect right on it.
I know it's hard. It's too bright.
Yeah.
Turn it to the side a little. Maybe it'll take it direct off.
There you go. There you go. So
that
smart.
really is so pretty.
So smart. Yeah, so this is sterling silver. It is $12, so it will be sold space 71. Yep. Oh, Tiffany loves snowflakes. Of course you like snowflakes, Tiffany. You want to move to Maine. I could do without the snowflakes, but that's just me.
Yes.
All right.
She loves the snow.
Snowflakes are beautiful, though. Beautiful. All right. Next up, I have another. Now, these are really going to be a challenge. All right. I thought the other ones were a challenge, but I don't know what I was thinking trying to show these to you guys. All right. Because I know so many people love butterflies. These are vintage enameled butterfly post earrings. And they're about a half-inch high, so they're. I'm going to try to show you one so I can adjust here a little bit better. There. You can see all the pretty colors. They're kind of a little understated. The colors aren't very bright. Mm-hmm. And they are $7 for the pair, free shipping. So it would be sold space 67.
And they sold. Lori, those are going to be cute on you. We need to see pictures. And now back to the ladies of C Chats.
About 2 months ago, we added Insta Resale Therapy. And
it's a little bit different.
It's a little bit different. It's more like I like to call it like an unboxing. Mm-hmm. It's just, as we mentioned, some of the challenges of Instagram are you can't monitor the comments afterward. So what we do is we just sell live during the sale if anybody wants something. But it's a lot of times to show our customers just what's coming in and what's fresh and what's new, because we know that customers love to see what we're getting in. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's kind of the deal with Insta Resale Therapy Live. And again, we do that consistently every Thursday at 8:00. And we do not do them simultaneously. There are issues with that. That was our initial thought, is we would do them both at the same time and they would be the same. It just wasn't going to work for us. And I know, Tiffany, you said there's definitely difficulties with doing them simultaneously. I know Tiffany of Resale Consignment, if you watch that episode, she said she has tried it. She also would not recommend trying to do all that and monitor it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so
I like having the two, and I like that they're different from each other. I like that they're not the same, but they're both building community and just having fun, just showing product and having fun and chit-chatting, and I like it. So
I did mine with a jewelry sale, and it was hard because, with the jewelry you have to show close up. And I had to keep showing to two different cameras.
From one camera to the other. Yeah, that's what makes it difficult.
I think it was just probably giving people,
Right. Ooh, like at a tennis match, back and forth. I do highly recommend, if you're going to do it, to schedule it and make it a consistent event that people can start looking forward to. I mean, we have people that come back every single week and they look forward to it. Tiffany does.
I actually have an alarm on my phone that goes off at 6:55.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the importance of the consistency. I think that's where that does pay off. Mm-hmm. It really does. So I would highly recommend.
Yeah. And whether your goal is to build community or to drive sales, I think consistency matters either way.
Speaking of community, y'all, what's going on in our community? I want to know.
So much. Oh my God, I love our community.
Yeah,
yeah, it really is.
What's happening over there, Tiffany?
So in episode 32, we talked with Diva G about her social media and her branding. and Molly made these beautiful logos for her. And in our community, we have polls up where you can vote on what you like, your favorite logo. And then in our next episode, we're going to follow up with Diva G to see what she chose, what's going on, how she is, where she is right now.
I just love the branding and the logo and the consistency of colors. We've gotten you've gotten really good feedback on the work. Molly developed the logos and really good feedback on, how that really establishes a brand and really will make her store look cohesive and identifiable. So good job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. So y'all go on there. Look, I love getting feedback. I really do. I'm not one of those that shies from, even if somebody has something they don't like. So please, if you haven't gone to look at them and give me your input, that's how we grow as people, is to hear other people's ideas, whether it's positive, negative, just be gentle.
Be constructive. That's all we ask in our community. If you come to us with a complaint or something you're struggling with, be constructive about it. Please.
Be constructive. Leave the hateful trolls behind. We don't like those little trolls. But yeah, I love to get feedback. I mean, that's how I learn. That's how I
And you got me thinking about a rebranding. I'm like actually thinking, what could you do for me, Molly?
She's good.
What could I do?
She's good.
Yeah.
I love it.
And also I love personally, I love to track where everyone in our community is from. And so I created a map and I have people comment in there about where they are. And I highlight your state or your province. I got a couple Canada people in there.
Love it.
I had to add Canada. And I post that periodically in the group so you can let us know where you're from, and then I add you to the map. So
recently let us know what state you're from. I love it. We got a couple more to fill in, guys.
Did you just add some new ones recently? Didn't you?
I did. I just added 5 or 6 new states, and I just love knowing like how far our reach is going.
Yeah, it's so much fun, and to look at all the different people. I mean, I love that we're friends with people now all over the country.
Yep.
Someday when I get my Airstream, me and my Chihuahua are going to come visit all those places.
You and your Chihuahua and who?
And Molly and Tiffany.
See, chat's on the road.
I want to go. Because your Chihuahua get along with Border Collies? Because I got.
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
They need their own Airstream though.
And then in episode 33, we chatted about social media. So Libby added a poll to our community where you can let us know what social media you're currently using, so we can keep track of that. And I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. There's inspirational quotes, like the quote that Libby just put up the other day, which says, "Surround yourself with people who are only going to lift you higher." And that is perfect for why we started this whole thing in the first place.
Yes. And I think a little reminder of that is I was surprised that there were a couple of resellers that I know, like very successful resellers that do a lot in the community that comment that, yes, I need to remind myself of this. So yeah, even though it seems obvious, yes, the little reminder here and there is good.
Yep. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like
it. I can say, maybe this is adding too much, but I'm going to add it on anyway. One of the things that after we did our social media poll in our community was, asking what different social media people use. And I really feel that I want to amp up my LinkedIn for C-Chats and for my business. And I really want to become more active on there. I see a lot of opportunity there. So yeah. So if any of you are on LinkedIn, find C-Chats, find Kanji Consignment, link up with me, show me what you're doing on LinkedIn. And
Tiffany, are you on LinkedIn?
Yeah, and I have I have Consignment Chats and my Tiffany's Treasures and Trinkets mentioned on there.
Yeah.
And I could probably do more, but yes, I have it on there.
It is a great resource. I think it's right now, like, underutilized in our reselling space. So
I think it's really important. I know Kathy Terrell does a lot on there with her profile there.
Yeah.
But I think that's good. And I really want to work on my Pinterest, but it's just time management. You gotta find time.
Always. Yep. Always. We could
Yeah.
do 1,000 episodes on time management, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then we'd not have any time left to manage.
Right? Just go with it.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
like
it's
it.
coming, people. It's coming.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Mhm.
All right, ladies. Until next time.
Libby.
Libby doesn't
I'm
have
traveling.
a mug
I'm
because she's
traveling.
traveling, and I don't have two. I only have one. Sorry. But she did
Cheers.
use one of my favorite
Cheers.
mugs.
Cheers.
Cheers, ladies.
Thanks for joining Libby, Molly, and Tiffany, the ladies of Consignment Chats, as we talked about all things consignment. To learn more and keep chatting, find Consignment Chats on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, and Instagram.